Reborn, I ignored my Mafia King husband's calls and texts. I spent days drinking with pretty boys. On the 8th morning, Kalen appeared at my door, his expression darker than the night. "Where did he touch you?" he demanded. "My hand," I said with a laugh. "How else would we roll the dice?" "Cut off his hands," he snapped to his men. I brushed past him, my tone icy. "Do what you want." In my first life, I was his queen for 8 long years. I helped him build his empire, won him the city's largest underground casino, and stood beside him as he claimed the throne of Canaan's underworld. But then came Stella, a delicate shuffler girl he protected like a precious gem. When I discovered he'd secretly filed for divorce to legitimize her position, I confronted him. His only response was a smirk. "You're still the queen, aren't you? Why get upset over details?" I had slapped Stella across the face in public. That night, Kalen broke my brother Leo's legs in front of me. "Let this be a lesson for touching what's mine," he had said. I begged until Leo bled out on the floor. Then everything went black. When I opened my eyes again, it was the very day I had found out about the divorce. This time, I wasn't going to plead or fight. I sold my jewelry, bought 2 one-way tickets, and planned to flee with Leo far away from Kalen's golden cage. The morning after, I went to the city clerk's office to confirm what I already knew. "Ms. Goller," the clerk said, not glancing up, "your marriage has been legally dissolved." Her voice confirmed it. The nightmare I'd lived through hadn't been a dream. The date of the divorce, my birthday, glared back at me from the file. That day, I had reserved the entire top floor of Canaan's revolving restaurant, fireworks ready, waiting for him from dusk till dawn. He never came. He'd been busy signing a different kind of paper, one that erased me from his life. When I returned to the casino, a black Maybach was parked outside. Last time, I had run up to that car screaming, demanding answers. He'd kicked me into a dark corner to keep me from embarrassing him in front of Stella. Not this time. I stayed hidden behind a pillar and watched. Kalen stepped out, calm and immaculate, then walked around to open the passenger door himself. A girl in a pale blue dress stepped out, nervous, fragile, looking completely out of place beside the polished car. "Stella." He took off his suit jacket and wrapped it around her shoulders, his hand resting on her waist as he guided her toward the glittering casino entrance. "Kale," she murmured hesitantly. "I've lost everything. If I lose this too, I'll have nothing." He pulled her close, his voice tender in a way I'd never heard before. "You won't lose. From now on, you're the lady of this place. No one else deserves that title. And if you ever hate it here, I'll build you something better, a resort of your own." The same men who had once bowed to me now bent at the waist for her. "Welcome, ma'am," they said, fawning over her as if she were royalty. I pressed a trembling hand to my stomach as pain twisted through me. Only when they disappeared inside did I step out from the shadows, tears streaking down my face. That night, I went to the hospital and made an appointment to end the pregnancy. The doctor frowned at the ultrasound. "Ms. Goller, you've struggled with infertility for 7 years. If you proceed, you may never conceive again." I laughed softly, bitterly. "I'm divorced. I don't want a child growing up without a father." As the anesthesia crept through my veins, memories blurred together. Kalen once pressing his ear to my belly, laughing, saying our son would learn to read cards before he could walk. The name he had chosen, the promise of traveling the world together once he found someone to take over his empire. All of it dissolved with the echo of his latest vow. "Only you deserve to be the mistress of this casino." When I woke up, the emptiness inside me wasn't just physical. It was everything. I forced myself to move, to visit Leo at the hospital. He was alive this time, his injuries light. I wouldn't waste the second chance I'd been given. I contacted a black market broker and paid extra for 2 fake passports and plane tickets to a small, faraway country. Then I called my most loyal subordinate, handed him a bundle of cash, and told him to arrange Leo's discharge quietly. For the first time in years, I let myself breathe. I hailed a cab and gave an address near the villa, never the exact one. In our world, paranoia was survival. I had just stepped out when someone grabbed me from behind, covering my mouth. I fought, kicking, twisting, almost breaking free, until a sharp pain exploded across my back. My shirt grew warm with blood. I didn't need to guess who sent them. Kalen's enemies were countless, and they would use me to get to him. "Stay still, bitch," one of them hissed, dragging me toward a waiting van. Then headlights flashed. The familiar black Maybach turned the corner. Hope surged through me. I screamed his name, fighting harder, waving for help. The car slowed. He saw me. He had to have seen me. But then it accelerated, speeding past. Through the tinted window, I caught one last glimpse of Kaylin pulling Stella close, shielding her eyes from the scene. As if I were stranger. As if I were already dead. All strength left my body. Pain, cold, and betrayal swallowed me whole as darkness claimed me once again. When I came to, I was in a private ward, the door cracked open and soft voices drifting in from the corridor. Boss, her wounds are bad this time. If she finds out about Miss Stella, Kaylin's private physician began, urgent. Kaylin's voice cut through, cold and precise. Mind your tongue. You fix her, nothing else. He hesitated, then added, Zoe survived this life and worse. She knows every trick in the book. Don't underestimate her. The doctor swallowed. But Miss Stella is different, sir. She's fresh, naive. She won't stand against Zoe. Kaylin's tone dropped low. Dangerous. If she wakes and causes trouble, bring her brother. He's the only family she has left. She won't risk him. I clenched the sheet, so hard my teeth bit into my lip. The memory of him holding me the night we took Kanan echoed in my head, the promise he had whispered, Zoe, in this city, no one will ever touch you again. The promise was the same, the protector was the same, but the cherished woman had changed. Footsteps drew near. I let my eyes flutter open, slow and fragile. You're awake. Kaylin tossed a folder onto the bed, businesslike. We found the attackers. That Thai loan shark, the one you crippled last year. He pushed a settlement across my lap, the ink promising the East District in exchange for their withdrawal. The East District, the only clean coastline left in the city, the place with no gaming dens and no gray markets. I pictured him telling Stella, I'll build you a quiet resort, a place of your own. So my blood, my pain, had been traded for the land to build her gilded refuge. Kaylin, I rasped, throat raw. When did you make that deal? Was it while I was being dragged? Was it planned? A road laid for her with my ruin as foundation? His brow tightened, annoyance flickering across his face. I shut my mouth. The answer no longer mattered. Perhaps to keep up appearances, he lingered for a couple of days, running business from my room, always with a phone in hand. He photographed meals, sent messages with a smile I had never seen for me. The man I had known for 8 years, the one who rose from alleys to a throne of cards and cash, now moved around a different center of gravity. I had not met him at a table, but in a narrow, blood-streaked alley. He'd been cornered and about to lose an arm to machetes. I'd just won big and felt reckless, so I paid his debt and took him home. Later, when my father was killed over a gambling debt, Kaylin had burst in and saved me from a savage end. He'd been small then, running a single casino. I became the unseen strategist, the queen of the cards pulling strings while he grew wings. If the world considered me tainted, he should not have been among the judges. After discharge, he made excuses and vanished. I was leaving the next morning. While he was away, I emptied the penthouse safe, gathered passports and documents. On the elevator, my legs buckled. I braced for the fall, but a pair of gentle hands steadied me. Are you all right? The voice was soft, careful. I looked up, and there was Stella, wearing the dealer's uniform like borrowed clothes, eyes clear and unguarded. She assumed I was a ruined gambler, not the woman whose name once echoed through the rooms he owned. Thank you, I said, trying to appear composed. She guided me to the staff break room, offered warm water and dried mango, even pressed a few bills into my palm for a cap. Her kindness should have been simple, easy to refuse, but something in me cracked. I almost warned her, cried, stay away from him, his tenderness is poison. I swallowed the words. If she knew the truth, she would confront him, and I could not risk Leo's safety on one more confrontation. I accepted her help, thanked her, and slipped out the back door. A cold weight pressed to the back of my head. Clay, metal, the hard press of a gun. I turned in time to see Stella slumped on the floor, a blow to her skull. The world narrowed to a black, soundless drop. When I opened my eyes again, we were bound and blindfolded in a deserted warehouse, the smell of oil and rust thick in the air. Who are you? Why did you take us? Stella sobbed, small and terrified. A man with a jagged scar across his face stepped forward and slapped her. Because of Kaylin, his greed, his theft of our turf in the West District, he spat. So they were West District men, The same crew whose territory Kaylin had bought with the settlement. They did not know who I was. They had grabbed Stella because she was visible, because she walked beside Kaylin. I worked my hands silently, a microblade hidden under a false nail scraping at the ropes, thread by thread. Old habits, old preparations, never wasted. The scarred man sneered. Your luck being with her when she got nabbed. Call someone, tell them to pay $5 million, and you walk. Stella shook, sobs racking her. I'm sorry, miss, I'm so sorry. My fiancé is powerful, he'll come. He'll save us, I know he will. Her faith was almost childlike, a stubborn light in the dark. The captors fumed when their calls didn't reach Kaylin. One of them toppled an oil drum in a blind fury. What the hell? He's not picking up? Then we'll give him a message. A dagger glinted in his hand. His voice slid toward the cruel and obscene. You're carrying his kid, aren't you? Perfect. We'll carve it out and send it to him. The world dropped away. Stella went white, trembling. Please no. Don't touch the baby. My ropes finally gave. I unleashed myself like an animal, elbowing the scar-faced attacker, snatching the dagger, and slashing through Stella's bonds. I dragged her behind me, turning my body into a shield. Men with iron pipes closed in. I was still healing, my body protesting, but survival is a stubborn teacher. I took blows like currency, letting the pain build a wall between them and her. Scarface, enraged, leveled a pistol at me, the barrel cold and final. Then the doors exploded inward. Kaylin's men surged like a tide, guns speaking thunder. Kaylin himself moved through the chaos with the focused rage of a predator who had been wounded, a man who could not tolerate surprise. He scooped Stella into his arms, murmuring reassurances, as though that one woman was the sun around which his entire operation revolved. He carried her to the car, tenderness wrapping her as if she were fragile glass. Then he turned, eyes finding me. Zoe, he said, the name sharp as a blade. Why are you here? I forced myself upright, jaw set, and met his stare. Do you accuse me? I asked, voice raw. His hand cracked across my face before I could finish. Pain and blood filled my mouth. I knew it, he hissed. You've been after Stella from the start, haven't you? Trying to run her off. He dragged a wounded man to his feet, a gun pressed to his temple. Who hired you? Under the threat of death, the thug jabbed a finger at me, his eyes wide. Her. She paid us. Cold flooded through me. Betrayal, disbelief, a slow, hollow heat at the center of everything. Kaylin let out a laugh without humor. Without a flicker of hesitation, he pulled the trigger. The body slumped. He crouched, his boot pinning my hand to the concrete. These hands used to be obedient, he murmured, contempt in every syllable. Why are you using them now to hurt the one I love? He produced a wicked blade, glittering under the warehouse lights. I told you, Zoe, don't touch what is mine. The steel found my palm, and agony exploded, a white-hot scream tearing free of me as the dagger pinned my hand to the floor. I roared back, voice raw with the truth I'd held for 8 years. Kaylin, I should have left you to die in that alley. I never should have helped make you king of Canaan. He stood then, a final, dismissive snort, and walked away with his men, leaving me with the ruin of my palm and the echo of his absence. Time narrowed. The pain went from burning to ice. I fished a locator from my bra, pressing the hidden switch with the strength left in my good hand. My subordinate came. He found me mangled, and something like a real human grief crossed his face as he extracted the dagger from my palm. My right hand was a ruined instrument, numb and useless. I breathed, every breath a promise. Burn this place, I whispered, voice thin but steady. Erase it. Let there be no trace. He looked at me, all loyalty and fury, and answered. From today, the Queen of the Cards is gone from Canaan. Kaylin remained at Stella's bedside in the VIP ward until she stirred. Kale, she whispered, her voice trembling. He brushed sweat from her forehead, his hand gentle. I'm sorry. I should have protected you. Shaking her head, she hesitated, then asked, the other woman with me, what happened to her? Kaylin's expression hardened. He avoided answering. You're too kind. I won't let anyone harm you ever again. Once she drifted back into a restless sleep, he issued instructions. Clear the villa on the hill. Remove anything unnecessary. Stella will move in when she's discharged. A subordinate handed him a file. The compensation for Miss Zoe, as you instructed. 2 casinos and 20% of company shares have been transferred. Enough for her to start over elsewhere. Kaylin nodded. Deliver it. Make her sign. In his mind, it was a generous gesture, a clean severance. 8 years together. She knew her place. But a day passed. Then another. No reply. His calls went unanswered. He checked with the housekeeper. Has she returned?
No, sir.
Madam has not come back. A prick of unease ran through him. Outside his reach, where could she possibly be? Boss, one of his men suggested. Maybe she's still in the hospital. Her injuries were severe. Only then did Kaylin remember the dagger through her palm. He shoved down the strange tightness in his chest. Locate her. Bring her the papers. Post 2 sharp men nearby. She's dangerous. If she tries something against Stella, intercept her. And, if necessary, pressure her brother. She'll know what to do. That night, Kaylin wandered through the penthouse, the city glittering below through floor-to-ceiling windows. Once, Zoe had stood here, laughing, calling it our kingdom. A faint sound drew him to the bedroom. She's back. Where else would she go? But with Zoe, a quiet return was never surrender. It could be a prelude to war, or something far deadlier, with Stella as the target. The bedroom door burst open. A slender figure stood outlined against the city lights. When she turned, Kaylin froze. Stella held a delicate false nail in trembling fingers. Kaylin's eyes tracked the small weapon, one of Zoe's creations, sharp as metal, subtle as a cicada wing. Jewelry, hairpins, even lipstick could be instruments of precision. The queen of the cards had never been limited to the poker table. He softened, glancing at Stella's innocent eyes. The anger ebbed. He stepped forward, embracing her gently. I'm not angry with you. These were my late wife's belongings. If you like them, I can have a new set made for you. Stella's eyes shone with gratitude. She had chosen well. A man so devoted to a lost love would surely be a steadfast husband and father. In the dead of night, Kaylin jolted awake to a frantic call. Boss, she's gone. We've checked every hospital, nothing. But her records, sir, his voice dropped. She knew about the divorce. She even checked public records herself. Stella woke to smoke and found him in the living room, surrounded by a carpet of cigarette butts. Is something wrong at the casino? She asked softly. He startled, but didn't put out the cigarette. Nothing. Just a work issue. His bloodshot eyes, dark circles, and haggard frame made him seem like someone else entirely. His man had told him. Zoe had gone to a hospital and terminated her pregnancy. On the exact day, he had installed Stella as the new queen of his empire. Dawn lighted Stella's face, pure and untroubled. In contrast, Zoe's sacrifice, her blood and pain, had been invisible to him, dismissed. Nothing, he repeated, crushing the cigarette. Let me shower. While showering, he called a subordinate. West District scum. Leave none alive. Make it clean. Feed the trash to the harbor sharks. Stella moved into the villa. Kaylin adorned her with jewels, expensive dresses, and comfort, giving her a respectable role at the casino. Yet a gnawing exhaustion grew in him. His two selves tore at him, the ruthless king of Canaan's underworld and the gentle, respectable businessman she thought he was. He thought of Zoe. Only with her could he be himself. She was fearless, strategic, efficient. Together they had cleared the path to his empire. Without her, there was no Kaylin. A gold-embossed invitation lay unopened on his desk to a Southeast Asian casino summit. With Zoe, any game was performance glory. With Stella, he hadn't played seriously in months. He returned to the penthouse often late at night. The old things reminded him of her sharp, confident presence. He had saved her from the drug lords, yes, but she had won him his kingdom. They had been partners in blood and fire, not savior and saved. Why had he thrown her away? Because of her hands, stained with blood? Her moments of vulnerability? But Stella showed weakness, and he felt nothing but protective tenderness. Pain lanced through his chest. He stood abruptly.
No.
He had to find her. The casino could not survive without its queen. He could not survive without Zoe. Tear the city apart if you must. Find Zoe, he roared into the phone. I don't care if she's dead. I want the body. Boss, we've scoured hospitals, docks, clinics, nothing, the subordinate reported. Then locate her brother, he slammed his fist. He's injured. He must be somewhere in a hospital. We'll see how long she stays hidden. He hung up, chest heaving. Kaylin. Stella asked timidly. Who are you looking for? Nothing, he said, eyes still burning. Don't worry about the casino. She approached cautiously, offering dessert soup. Sweet, comforting, but it did nothing to quell the fire in his chest. Weeks passed. Zoe and her brother were nowhere. Kaylin's temper flared. Fear clouded the casino. How could a wounded woman and her fragile brother vanish from Canaan? Drunk in the penthouse, Stella found him cursing a subordinate on the phone. He hurled a glass against the wall, then noticed her. "Kaylin, you've had too much," she said, trying to help him. He grabbed her wrist, eyes unfocused. "Zoe, don't go. I was wrong. Come back." Stella froze. He said his wife was dead, yet every photo, every memory of her had vanished. A devoted husband would not erase the past so completely. The next day, she tried to broach marriage. "When will we marry?" "Soon, the baby will show." Before, he would have rejoiced. Now he only growled. "The casino is a mess." Later. "If it's too much," she whispered. He shook his head. "Ridiculous. End of the month. After I sort things out." While he was in meetings, Stella searched the records room. Hours passed. Nothing. No file, no record, no mention of Zoe Goller. "What are you looking for?" a junior staffer asked.
"Zoe's file," she said.
"They were destroyed on your boss's orders. Ouch." A colleague's elbow sent him sprawling. Pale, Stella descended to the casino's underground levels, hearing faint, tortured screams. Scarface, chained to the glass-strewn floor, begged.
"Boss, please."
"We'll leave the East District." Kaylin laughed, devoid of warmth. "This dirt? Worth my wife." "Your wife? Stop pretending. You watched her get taken while cuddling your new toy." Scarface jeered. Kaylin's voice went flat. "Cut his tendons." Stella ran, but he caught her swiftly, cradling her as she trembled. "Don't be afraid. They deserved it. They won't hurt you again."
"No."
"Zoe saved me. She was hurt, but she shielded me. How could I betray her?" Stella cried. For the first time, Kaylin's icy control cracked. "She saved my life," she sobbed. "Why didn't you cherish her?" He had no answer. Dusk fell over the foreign city as I returned from the supermarket, planning to make hot pot for dinner with Leo. My right hand still trembled from months of surgeries and therapy, but I could manage light chores. My phone rang. It was Leo. Before I could answer, a firm arm snaked around my neck from behind, yanking me into a narrow alley. Instinct took over. I dropped my weight, slammed my elbow into my attacker's ribs, and stomped hard on his foot. A blade, concealed between my fingers, pressed against his throat. It was Kaylin. He simply stared, then, astonishingly, smiled. "Still sharp as ever, my wife. Go ahead. If you kill me, I'll deserve it." Nausea and hatred churned in my stomach. "We're divorced, Kaylin," I said icily. "Leave my life. Don't ever show your face again." He ignored me. Leaning closer, the blade drew a drop of blood. "Come back, Zoe. We can start over. The casino needs its queen. And I need you." I lowered the blade. "Never. I'll hate you forever." His eyes glimmered red. "Zoe, I know I was wrong. Please, just one more chance." Footsteps approached behind him. He hadn't come alone. My left hand pressed the emergency button on the small beacon Leo had given me. Kaylin shoved me into a car, speeding toward the airport. His phone buzzed, a video call from my subordinate. On the screen, Stella was tied to a chair, a newborn cradled in her arms. A knife pressed to her throat. "Let Miss Zoe go," my man shouted, "or you'll never see your wife and child again." Kaylin's expression remained calm. A chuckle escaped him. "The two of them together aren't worth a single strand of Zoe's hair." Stella's eyes widened in despair. He ended the call, turning his full obsessive gaze to me. "Now no one can interfere." He was completely unhinged. At the airport entrance, several cars blocked our way. Leo leapt out of one, gun raised. "Kaylin, let my sister go." Gunfire erupted. Kaylin shielded me with his body, grunting as a bullet tore through his shoulder, yet he barely flinched. He grabbed my wrist, trying to pull me toward the terminal. "Don't be scared, Zoe. I'm taking you home." I twisted free. "We have no home, Kaylin. We can never go back." His face went pale, but he reached for me again. "Zoe, please, it'll be like before." I met his eyes. "Tell me, Kaylin, if I had gone after Stella that day, if I hadn't walked away, would you have shattered my brother in front of me again and killed me?" His pupils contracted. His lips moved, but no sound came. He couldn't deny it. Leo raised his gun toward Kalen's head. Sis, let me end him. I snatched it from him, aimed, and fired.
Bang.
Kalen recoiled, staring at his mangled right hand in shock. You took one of my hands, I said, calm. Now I've taken one of yours. We're even.
Zoe.
Don't leave, he roared, desperate and animalistic, stumbling after me. I didn't look back. 2 years later, on a sunlit afternoon in Paris, I saw Stella again. She was thinner, holding the hand of a little girl, maybe 2 or 3 years old. I came to finish my degree, she said, composed and self-assured. The timid girl she had once been was gone. I smiled, nodding to her and her daughter. The blood, the hatred, and the tangled, impossible love of the past had finally washed away with the passage of time, leaving only quiet peace in its wake.